Welcome back, my fellow aficionados. It's great to be back. In this episode, we have a lot to cover. But first and foremost, I know I haven't done it in a while, but I'd like to give some shout outs first to all the new subscribers and those of you that I missed. I thank you. So let's run these off. Spencer G, Over a Pipe, AJ Dana, Michael Lopez, Simon Yagasar, I'm hoping. Dune Cause, Steve B, Joshua. Who else do we have here? Adam Taher. If I butcher it, I apologize. Alexander Kinahan. And Benjamin Burney. And Simon Wizzle. Luis Martinez. If I missed some of you, I apologize, but welcome. We have quite a few questions and emails, and we will unbox a Ramona lowness Canada release. I purchased this box a while ago. The box code is 2010, I believe, but we'll confirm that when I pop it up, and I'm almost positive it's a 2010. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so let's get into some of these questions, emails, some comments, and I'll try to touch base on the over the Butler compared to the sensor push, just to give you my personal opinion on it. So the first question from Robert Hubbard. We were discussing in the couple videos ago about how many cigars you could bring back from Cuba, and he commented, in the US I checked with CBP, and as long as you're receiving Cuban cigars for personal use, no problem, but the limit is about 100 sticks per order. Yeah, for some reason that 100 sticks rings a bell, but yeah, thank you for posting that for fellow viewers that are also in the U.S. Also, Robert Hubbard again. He just commented on how he's building his Cuban collection, and holy cow, man, you're hitting home runs with these guys. And he's got some boxes coming, Epicure number 2s, 2 boxes of Behike 56s, and we're gonna have to talk because I cannot find any Behikes anywhere. And also a box of Trinidad Funtadores. Great stick. Actually, anything from Trinidad lately is dynamite. Wow. But thanks for that question, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, the next question, Luis Reyes. And it's not just him, actually, because I made a comment of in the winter, it's just too cold. It's too cold where I am, and I don't enjoy having sticks. I find personally it heavily influences whether you're enjoying it, but the flavors, are you rushing? It's not fun. But what kind of surprised me, a few of yous like Luis Reyes, Robert Hubbard, Charles Pinson, are the same way. Just not enjoying smoking in the winter. And as Luis Reyes commented, I don't enjoy smoking out in the cold either. I do less smoking and more collecting in the winter time. And yeah, that's there's a few of us doing the same thing. Robert Hubbard commented, "So true. You can't enjoy a cigar with your teeth chattering. Takes away from the enjoyment." Exactly. Exactly. And Charles Pinson, he said it the best. He goes, "Cold weather affects fairly every aspect of my life. It stops." That is so good. That is hilarious, my friend. I love that one. But but yeah, so that's we're kind of in the same boat. So that's kind of cool. Um, yeah, so we'll move on to the next question. Again from Charles Pinson, and this was great. This is a great question. What was the cigar that made you feel yes, this is the hobby for me? For Charles, it was the Onyx Reserve Maduro. For myself, my friend, and honestly, it's not a, I know it's going to sound cliche, but it feels like it was yesterday. It was me and my best friend. We were at his house. It was a Friday night. His folks were away, and we went to the local. Um, it They sold cigars, but it wasn't. I want to say more like a convenience store kind of thing. But they had uh, a glass humidor. Not a big selection by all means, but we went in there, and I'll never forget. We picked up the Macanudo. I think it was the Macanudo Crystal. It was in the glass, and when we got back, man, like it we felt like we were kings, you know. And it was just us two in the backyard on the lawn chair. Um, we had a couple beers, and we just sat there, and not it was just such a smooth, mild smoke, where we kind of went like, this is really nice, relaxing, kind of different from going to the bars and doing that scene. And I'll never forget that Saturday morning, we actually went to a tobacconist, and it was in another city, but we went there and we picked up the Partagas. I want to say it was a Corona. I can't remember the size, but it wasn't big. I want to say it was a Corona, a Corona size. But that when we had that night, um, that was the sinker. Like, it was just wow. The flavors were just so bold and rich. It was unreal. But not taken away from the Macanudo. The Macanudo was the one that kind of got the ball rolling. But that weekend we had both, and that Partagas was something else. I'd be interested, for anybody else, uh, post. You know what? We might do that for the giveaway. We might do that for the giveaway. What was your that is a great question. What was the stick that really? Yeah, this is the hobby for me. But to answer your question, sir, the first one I had was the Macanudo, but the Partagas was the one that really did it for me. Great question. All right, next question. More of a comment. Carlos Santos, when I was discussing on the format whether we should make them shorter, or if you guys are happy with the length, um, he just mentioned, love the new format, shorter clips, and splitting up works well. Yeah, it seems to be the case, but by all means, for those of you that do like the longer videos, I won't abandon that. If that's what you guys enjoy, I'll definitely keep doing that. Uh, Jim LeBlanc commenting on the cigar Beetles. Um, and he just commented, I've had that happen to me once. I didn't lose any additional cigars, but it was scary to see those little holes. I was lucky I didn't eat through the cellophane. And yeah, it sucks, man. When you get those Beetles, like I said, I don't have much experience because I honestly this is the first time. Um, no, I'm lying. It's the second time has happened to me. But that's it. I've been pretty fortunate. So, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. As long as you're on top of it. Next comment, Carlos Santos. Thank you for the call out, my brother. I really like the Butler for the price point, but I feel you'll like the sensor push better. Um, I feel that the Butler is better than many hydrometers, in my opinion. Um, yeah. So, which brings me the comparison between the Butler and the sensor push. Now, if you don't have um, a Bluetooth hydrometer that's easily that you can calibrate, yes, it does work and it works well, especially the self calibration kit. Um, yeah, I got nothing bad to say. Now, comparing it with the sensor push, that's where, and I'm nitpicking here. I'm not trying to undermine. Boveda has a solid product and it's priced accordingly. Now, with the sensor push, I found comparing to the Butler, it's a little bit more accurate. And by that, I mean, for example, if you want to offset um, and calibrate the hydrometer, I can do it uh, with a decimal. When I'm getting readings, it's not 1% intervals. I'm getting the decimal point. So the accuracy is a little bit tighter. Let's just say it like that. It's nice. It is very nice. Um, Now, also having the gateway where I can check my sensor push, my humidor, and all three sensor pushes wherever I am is a great feature. That is definitely something I'd like to see maybe in the future. Boveda doing something like that. But now, granted, you're almost paying double the price per sensor when you start going to the sensor push. So that's why I'm saying the Butler, it is priced right. It works well, especially for those of you that don't have it. I would recommend it. If you do want to splurge a little more and in the future are interested in getting readings wherever you are in the world through the Wi-Fi, then I would probably steer you towards the sensor push. It's a great device, but yeah, great comment, Carlos, and we'll go on to the next one. And the next comment from my friend, and if you guys haven't checked out his channel, Crosby Corner Jeff, great guy. Um, he made a comment as well with smoking in the cold, and I could not agree more. To me, it's a waste of a sublime moment when one smokes a cigar in a rush, and when time isn't allowed to relax, enjoy the true essence of what a cigar can bring. Um, yes, I mean, I can't say it any that is what it is. It's that moment. He also commented with the cigar Beetles. I rarely place cigars I receive in my humidor first. I place them in the temporary humidor with a Bovida pack. A few weeks later, after a thorough review of each cigar, they'll go into the humidor, otherwise to the trash. I am interested in seeing the dissection. That's when I cut up um, the cigar in the last video. I think several of us need to see what a Beetle looks like, and unfortunately, I didn't find it, but um, I still do have the other guy, and yeah, we'll get into that. But great comment, Jeff. All right, next comment, and this is great because this is going the other way. Sydney Carton. Once again, great video, man. Thank you. I don't know, perhaps I'm a weirdo, but for me, there is nothing better than to wrap up in a warm coat and smoke a nice stick outside, watching the smoke sway in the evening air. But then again, I live on the West Coast, and so our winters are a lot more forgiving than yours. Yeah, definitely. I mean, my brother's out in the West Coast, and man, you guys don't get a winter, okay? But yeah, I mean, there you go, right? Some people enjoy that moment, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, you're a weirdo, man. No, no. Hey, if you enjoy that, and like I said, I mean, you guys out in the West Coast, I mean, really, it's not that bad. Um, but yeah, that's awesome. Now, he also commented. Now, I'll read this verbatim off his comment regarding the Beatles. I unfortunately had them in one of my boxes of Boulevard Belicoso Finos that my friend bought at a La Casa del Habano in Cuba. Uh, Shitty luck, when I opened the box, about 5 or 6 had Beetles around them. 3 of those had so many holes that I had to throw them out. The other 2 or 3 had only 1 or 2 holes, and so I smoked them. The rest were fine. I did the whole uh, freezer, fridge. Perhaps it was overkill, but I also had a box of Partagas P2s that I was going to eventually put all in the same humidor, and so I didn't want to take any chances. After that, I had no problems at all. The taste was totally fine as well. Anyway, I looked into it and I found out from my local cigar merchant that all cigars leave Cuba for resale in other countries are actually flash frozen first. Hence the reduction, not eliminating the chance of Beetles. And while most properly handmade Cubans are 99% of the time will not have Beetles or eggs, it can still happen. Don't know how true it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was. You're right. That that is what they're supposed to do. And I personally, like I said, I've never had any issues, so I believe that they are doing that. Now, custom rolled, fresh rolled, yes. I mean, that's a different animal, right? But we're talking, production cigars. You are correct. That is the process that they go through. And hey, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. What you're doing there, putting them in the freezer, um, and then to the fridge, and then to your humidor. I mean, nothing wrong. Absolutely, especially if you've had that situation. Where you do have multiple Beetles like that, yeah, it's a little scary. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. But thanks for the question and comment. All right, the next comment comes from Carlos Santos. I'm I'm going to embark on a journey to watch all your videos, my brother, starting with this one, and he's going back to the aristocrat mini that I had. Um, Right now, I have two desktop humidors, and I'm planning on buying a temp controlled unit in the spring and thinking of the new Air CC100. What do you think? Um, and which I replied, I haven't heard anything bad about those. So I would say if you're gonna do it, yeah, uh, get it. I've not heard one complaint um, about those fridges. Now, as for aristocrat, um, unfortunately, Mr. Bob Stabell, which I'm gonna have to call him, he's not going to be making humidors anymore. That sucks because this guy has a talent that I hope he passes on. Um, Now they're still going to remain open for maintenance. Um, so if you need, reservoir wicks or any electronic components with the set it and forget it, they're going to stay there. But as for manufacturing of humidors, they're not going to do that anymore. Um, as he stated on his webpage, it's time to slow down. So I respect that. Bob, I'm probably going to give you a call, see if I can squeeze maybe one more if I decide to sell this guy. But we'll have to see. But great question, my friend. All right, the next comment again from Carlos Santos. Um, with regards, now he's going back to the Ramona lowness, the Swiss release that I picked up at an event I went to, and he was just curious, um, how do folks get access? And for events like that, um, I you need to know somebody. Um, it's they're not cheap, but they are so well done that I would not hesitate to go again. And I will definitely look forward to doing that again this year, uh, time permitting. Um, but I will keep. If anyone is interested, now I don't know when. I'll have to contact a few people to see when tickets will be available because I know they're limited. But if anyone's interested, as Carlos is, yeah, I'll keep you in the loop on that when the time comes. All right, next question, and then I'll end it there, and I'll continue on with the next one. Again, Carlos Santos. Uh, Basically, he was just asking because I don't have a temp control, but I do have my humidor in the basement. I do have central air. What is the average temperature? And actually, I'll bring it up on the sensor push as well. So right now, like on average, it's 19 to 20. And the reason why it's there, number one, I don't want to hear it from the boss, uh, because when I do drop it, um, I get complaints. But the reason why I didn't get a temp controlled humidor is I would want to put it to 13. I don't know about 12, but 13 degrees Celsius is where I would leave it, maybe 14. And again, with it being 20 in the basement, um, I don't want to encounter the same issues as my wine fridge. With the wine fridge, I don't care because the glass bottles, but if you look at the labels, uh, because when I open it, the difference in temperature, you get the dew. The paper labels are all kind of wrinkled as they expand, contract, absorb the moisture, and you can imagine the havoc that would wreak on cigars. So that is why I didn't do that. So currently, now I don't know how good it'll show here, but this is what's going on in my humidor right now. Now I don't know if it'll focus on that. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So basically it's 18 degrees. on the bottom, 19 on the top, and about 66% humidity. Yeah, I'm gonna hear it when my wife gets home. Hopefully she doesn't come in the basement. But anyhow, that's the reason. But to answer your question, on average, like 19 to 20 is what it's at. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Carlos. So we'll stop there, and I will continue on, and I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, hit like, subscribe, share, and at 700 we are going to do another giveaway. I'm kind of getting excited about that. So we will catch you guys on the next video. Cheers.